When one wants to truly understand film, one must not only analyze the script, but they must also understand the purpose of the objects being used on set. Set design within film is an incredibly powerful tool that can be used to convey meaning through the positioning, scale, and type of object. When used correctly, it can greatly enhance the viewing experience of the film, further immersing the viewer in the characters, story, and setting. Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho and released in 2019, has a completely original set design where every object has some sort of meaning or purpose behind it. The film follows the perspective of a lower-class family, the Kims, as they attempt to gain wealth by manipulating a higher-class family, the Parks, into giving them work. As mentioned previously, every aspect of the set was intentionally designed to convey meaning about the family's plot and setting. One of the most notable aspects of Parasite is its characters and their respective journeys. Understanding the psychology as to why these characters do what they do is incredibly important for the overarching themes of the film being greatly conveyed through the set alone. Within Parasite, the use of meticulous lighting and set design allows Bong Joon-ho to masterfully convey the psychological impact of living in the lower class, showcasing the negative effects it may have on a person if not dealt with appropriately. Joon-ho presents the first scene of the film with great intent, as the viewer is immediately introduced to the Kims' home. The windows to the outside are noticeably covered in dust, revealing that the Kims are living under literal society. This shot is incredibly symbolic to the Kims' social status and how powerless they are, with their home literally being walked upon by the people above them. As the camera pans down, Ki-woo is seen trying to connect to the Wi-Fi on his phone, prompting an introductory sequence of the family, giving an extensive view of the Kims' living space. From a first glance, the home is incredibly dirty, as objects are scattered everywhere and the muted colors show off much of the dirt and grime accumulating in the dwelling. These elements combined further emphasize the Kims' lower socio-economic status, as it becomes clear they struggle to uphold a high level of cleanliness due to their living space. As the father wakes up, the camera switches to a shot of the mother's medal from a sports event, characterizing her through a symbol rather than dialogue, being a great example of the set developing the characters without having to directly address the viewer. It is also important to note that this shot is a great representation of the potential success the Kims may have had in the past, making it an even more bitter reality that they are living in such poor conditions. Even as the father sits down to eat, he notices a stink bug, an element further adding to the unkempt environment of the Kims' home. The bug's presence alludes to the Kims themselves being akin to stink bugs, living in the same conditions those kinds of insects would thrive in. It is also revealed that the Kims live beneath sewage level, as shown by the toilet having to be elevated in the bathroom, being a direct portrayal by Joon-ho that this family is seen as lesser than sewage. The amount of visual elements that allude to the Kims' socio-economic status based on the set manipulation and camera work allow the audience to further understand and immerse themselves into the film without having to be directly told every detail. These elements combined make the viewing experience that much more impactful, and clearly convey the family's struggles. Evidently, the Kims struggle financially, as they're forced to deal with the crumbs society provides them. This puts them in not only a place of discomfort, but also a psychologically draining environment. Most of the set design may seem to only reveal basic elements present within the Kims' lives, however, all of it contributes to a greater narrative, providing the audience with a meaningful exposition as to who the characters are and why they would want to change. Much of the symbolic set design Joon-ho incorporates into the film is further demonstrated in the progression of the story, visually representing Ki-woo's hope to achieve financial success for his family. With the aid of his sister's skill in forgery, Ki-woo prepares himself to venture over to the Park's home. As he walks up the stairs, the camera noticeably frames Ki-woo, marking the beginning of his journey with him ascending the threshold of the home to achieve a new wealth for the family. A cinematic sequence follows, as Ki-woo journeys to the home of the Parks, having the camera switch to multiple angles of him ascending further. This is a way for Joon-ho to symbolically showcase the growing hope present within Ki-woo, with him finally gaining the chance to help his family rise from the depths, both literally and figuratively. Him ascending a hill is a great visual representation of him entering a higher part of society, and the lighting, combined with the colors, also illuminate this growing hope within him, conveying to the audience how monumental this moment is for not only Ki-woo, but the family as a whole. Even as Kiwoo enters the threshold of the home, he has to climb a staircase, showing just how elevated the park's status truly is. These elements metaphorically convey that the park's wealth allows them to be in a higher part of society, further adding to the set design's impact on the film. A spacious yard is also made visible, with bright colors and light that betray a success and freedom the Kims could only dream for. Despite the Kims being forced to experience the hardships of the lower class, it is clear they are determined to leave the confines of poverty no matter the effort it takes them. Every element of the set represents this concept as bright color and light encapsulates the scene, in turn articulating to the viewer the anticipation Kiwoo is experiencing. The set conveying such emotion is integral to the impact of this scene and contributes greatly to the masterful craftsmanship of Bong Joon-ho's set design. Within the final crescendo of the film, Bong Joon-ho's cunning design illustrates the dramatic downfall of the characters in a harsh but artistic way. To summarize, Kiwoo manages to bring his family up the metaphorical social ladder by manipulating the parks into hiring each respective member of the family. While working for the parks, it is revealed that a crazed man, Gwen Se, was living in the basement of the home in an attempt to avoid loan sharks. His isolation has brought him to the brink of insanity, bringing into context the happenings of upcoming events. Within this scene, the perspective constantly shifts between Gwen Se and the birthday party, with Gwen ominously lurking in the home as the party outside is bright and full of life. After being mercilessly beaten by Gwen, a shot of Kiwoo lying in a pool of blood is shown, with the rock used to smash his head lying beside him. The rock in itself is a symbol of wealth, with Bong Joon-ho utilizing it to symbolize the Kim's greed and how it has led to the downfall of the family. The shot itself also greatly contrasts brutality and peace, as Kiwoo appears to be relaxed with no real signs of injury to his head or face. Dim lighting and dark wood floors add to the unsettling nature of Gwen's presence, building visual tension as well. As the camera tails Gwen, there is a sense of dread as he passes the frame, further emphasized by Dae-hai, the park's daughter, obliviously descending the stairs, completely unaware of the perpetrator present in the home. When Gwen brings himself outside, his black clothing goes completely against the white decor surrounding the yard, greatly emphasizing the chaos of Ki-jung's murder. Blood splatters and taints the innocence of the party, showcasing the impact of insanity Gwen has been forced to face. The perspective constantly shifts, disorienting the viewer, as well as putting them into the shoes of the characters in their panic. Multiple close-up shots of Mr. Kim's face and the murders also demonstrate the intensity and fear the characters must be experiencing as these events are unfolding in front of them. Having such violence occur outside on a warm, sunny day was clearly an intentional decision made by Joon-ho to not only shock the viewer, but convey the message of insanity being hidden in plain sight. Mr. Kim even ends up murdering Mr. Park, further cementing that each character's psyche was continuously being tested, ultimately leading to both of them experiencing a great downfall. The choice to have so many contrasting elements is what makes this scene so powerful, and enforces how important it is to have a set that correlates to the themes being portrayed. Each element greatly enforces the impact of the film, providing the viewer with tremendous visual storytelling. Parasite is a film unlike any other and contains so many metaphorical and symbolic elements in its set design that greatly contribute to its overall message about the struggles of poverty. Every element builds upon one another and creates a viewing experience that enhances the themes and psychological elements of the film masterfully. Creating sequences that allude to certain outcomes and having objects that represent so much of the characters and their environment is what truly makes Bong Joon-ho a fantastic filmmaker. Parasite in particular thrives with its subtle foreshadowing present within the set, contributing to the overall thematic impact of the film. The overall narrative and theme was expertly conveyed through not only the characters' actions, but the set design itself, making Parasite a staple in the film world and a standard that any film would want to strive towards.